We previously introduced the game, some theories of weapon system design. This lesson, we get to the heart of the shooter game. Development of weapon systems. We know, weapons usually consist of a launcher and a projectile body. So, we need to make preforms of firearms and bullets. It can be used when strengthening objects in the game. First of all, we make the prefab of the gun. Import firearms-related resources into the project. Then click Assets in the project panel. Then enter a key. Search found AK-47 prefab. Drag it under the player node. Right-click to open the prefab. Then change the node name to Weapon. Modify the node and sub-node names according to the actual situation. Coop for bomb. Change the node name to magazine. Coop 002 for the trigger. Change the node name to trigger. Then adjust the position and size of the firearm. Everyone can run. Switch to the scene window. Adjust the position of the gun relative to the protagonist. Then take a screenshot and record the appropriate parameter settings. Exit the running state. Set these values for firearms. But if we modify the player's animation, let the player run with a gun, everyone will find a problem. When the player runs, the gun is just in the player's hand. It's not being held perfectly by the player. Let's think about how to solve this problem first. We will improve it later. Here we go. We need to add fire effects to the firearms. When the firearm is fired, bullet goes out of the muzzle, with both sparks and sound effects. Create empty sub-node rifle left-tuck under AK-47 node. For future setting of left-hand grip points, new empty rifle firepoint node. Used to mark the muzzle firing point. Adjust the left-hand grip point position and muzzle position. Then drag the AK-47 node. Go to the prefabs folder. Generate preform. At this time, the prefab only has the left-hand, handheld point and firing point position. No special effects yet. Usually, rifles have no special effects. We also need to make a prefab with special effects to be used when firearms are fired in the game. Right-click the X47 node. Select Preform. Open. Then press Ctrl to add D. Copy node. Rename the copied node to X47 effect. Next, make the fire special effects. That is, add shooting sound effects to the firearm, and particle effects. Under the effect of node X47, create an empty sub-node rifle fire audio. Used to set fire sound effects. These values can later be adjusted according to the actual situation. Check the rifle firepoint node. Create a new blank sub-node rifle under its shoot effect. Add a particle system to this node. It was found that the direction of particle divergence is not towards the front of the muzzle. Therefore, the coordinate system needs to be rotated. The coordinate system where we will fire the muzzle. Rotate 90 degrees along the y-axis. Is that so? The particles are fired in front of the muzzle. The color life cycle of whole particle systems. Make the muzzle fire color more realistic. Adjust the size of the particle system life cycle. can be achieved. As the life cycle changes, the size of the particles changes. Makes the muzzle fire effect more realistic. The explosive effect of muzzle fire. The particles that can be emitted are initially smaller. Then suddenly it gets bigger in a short period of time. And then it shrinks rapidly. So, we give the size of the particle the life cycle, set a steeper curve. Scaling nodes. Set fire effects. Node scaling is 0.5. Set the basic parameters of the particle system, duration, initial size, startup speed, etc. The duration of muzzle fire is generally short. The speed is generally very fast. So, we set the duration to 0.1. Start speed is set to 10. In addition, due to the small muzzle, we set the initial size of the particle effect to 0.2. You can take the loop during testing. After the test effect is normal, the loop needs to be removed, because the muzzle fire doesn't need to be circulated. Only needed at the moment of firing. Set emission and form. Adjust the center point and scattering angle of the muzzle fire. Set the material of the particle system. Check the loop of the particle system. Adjust the angle in the scene window. Observe particle system effects. When you find that the background color is different, the color you see is different. This is due to the problem of color stacking. We don't have to worry about it for now. Wait until the subsequent scene is edited before testing the correction. And finally, the X4 effect node. Drag to the prefabs folder in the project panel. Generate preform. And right-click the X4 effect node to open the prefab. Because of the special fire effects of the rifle, only when the player fires. So, requires script control. Wake up particle effects and play music. In the scripts weapons folder. New script rifle attributes. Set the rifle and sound properties in the script. On the X4 effect node, mount the above custom component rifle attributes and bind the corresponding property value. And finally, after making the X Siqi effect into a preform, right-click the XG effect node. Turn it on. So far, firearms and fire special effects are basically completed. Next lesson, let's complete the bullets and bullet effects.